Welcome to Trends Watch on the Innovation Front, the show where we spotlight the bold ideas, groundbreaking technologies, and brilliant minds shaping Africa's future, one innovation at a time. I'm Sarah, and every week we take you behind the stories driving change, from startups reimagining how we live and work, to creators and policymakers redefining what's possible on the continent. This is where Africa's next big leap begins. On Trends Watch this week, these are the innovations we're tracking. The Nigerian Senate just approved the Electric Vehicle Transition Bill for its second reading. Lagos goes fully digital for telecom infrastructure permits. Kenya unveils ambitious Code Nation plan. EV adoption in Nigeria has increased significantly. Chances are, if you're driving or walking through Ikeja or Lekki, you will come across an electric-powered vehicle. It could be a BYD car or a Bolt tricycle. The tricycle is more likely. Actually, the other day I saw a Tesla Cybertruck, but that's a bit more scarce. EV companies are also springing up and making waves. Just last month, Spyro, an EV maker, raised $100 million. But a new bill in the Senate could increase the EV adoption rate in Nigeria. The Electric Vehicle Transition and Green Mobility Bill, sponsored by Senator Orji Uzor Kalu, has just been approved for a second reading by the Senate. It is not only talking about allowing more electric vehicles on the road, it's signaling a shift toward building the systems that make EV adoption real. First, it sets up a national framework to phase out petrol and diesel vehicles and encourage local manufacturing of EVs. And as we've seen in other countries that have taken the bold step of creating policies to encourage more EV adoption, like Ethiopia, the bill proposes incentives like tax holidays, road tax relief, import duty waivers, toll exemptions, and subsidies designed to make EVs more attractive to users and investors. On the manufacturing side, foreign automakers seeking to enter Nigeria's EV market would be required to partner with local assemblers, set up plants in the country within 3 years, and source at least 30% of their content locally. For unlicensed importers or those who don't comply, there are fines of up to 500 million naira and seizure of goods. Anyone can see the heart behind this bill. It could make Nigeria a hub for EV manufacturing and infrastructure in Africa. But if you're familiar with policy making in Nigeria, ambition and reality don't always move at the same pace. Because the first question on my mind is, if manufacturing and adoption increases, do we have the infrastructure to handle it? Nigeria is still struggling with epileptic power supply and minimal charging infrastructure. Also, as we have seen in some other African countries, EV cost remains out of reach for many people. It is so similar to the situation in Ethiopia, where infrastructure challenges and cost has left EV adoption low, even after a full year of banning the import of fuel-powered vehicles. Anyway, to solve some of the infrastructure problems, the bill mandates that every fuel station must involve EV charging points, but that is still left to be seen. The bill has now been sent to the Senate Committee on Industry for review and will return in about 4 weeks. We had a conversation with one of our senior reporters at TechPoint Africa, tracking Nigeria's EV adoption. Check out our Innovation Radar segment from Monday for that conversation. Lagos is set to change its telecom infrastructure permit process. When I think of getting a permit from a government office, I assume it involves a lot of papers and documents moving from one office to another. And if your document is lost in the process, good luck. You are headed back to the ground floor. But come February 2026, the Lagos State government is changing things up with a new digital platform called the Telecommunication Infrastructure Regulatory System. The platform's purpose is to automate the approval process for telecom infrastructure across the state. This means if you're a telecom operator or an infrastructure company operating in Lagos, you'll move from dealing with stacks of paperwork, visits to regulatory offices, and manual delays to a system where you submit your application online and track its status and get approvals in a streamlined way. The system is being developed by the Lagos State Infrastructure Maintenance and Regulatory Agency. And according to the agency, human interaction in the process should go down by 99%. Ahead of the rollout, the agency says it has completed comprehensive training for all departments to ensure a smooth transition once the system goes live. The training covered both theory and hands-on sessions to get staff up to speed with the system's functions and goals. Apparently, Lagos is positioning itself as a technology-governed city where digital systems reinforce government operations like infrastructure development and regulatory monitoring. Having a smoother approval process could mean faster deployment of towers, better fiber networks, and scalability of connectivity. And all of these are critical for Nigeria's digital future. The Kenyan government unveiled what is calling a Code Nation Plan, a vision for Kenya to become Africa's leading software and AI innovation hub. Under this plan, the country intends to build on its existing digital groundwork, things like its fiber optic network, its digital services platforms, and dial up things significantly. For instance, the government has set a target of extending its fiber optic network to over 37,000 kilometers by 2027, with the goal of connecting 99% of the population. There's also a major emphasis on skills. The plan includes a Skill Up Kenya program designed to train 1 million tech professionals in the short term and ultimately 20 million globally competitive individuals focusing on software engineering, cybersecurity, and data science. The strategy is built on 4 main pillars: empowering startups, universities, and innovation hubs, linking entrepreneurs to investment, developing the talent base, and ensuring responsible data and governance frameworks. What this tells us about Kenya is it's no longer just aiming to adopt tech made elsewhere. The message is that they want to create, build, and export technologies from here, in Kenya. Of course, ambition is one thing, delivery is another. A lot will hinge on how fast infrastructure gets built, how quickly skills programs scale up, and whether investment flows into homegrown tech startups. There's also the question of how governance and data frameworks keep up. The plan emphasizes open source systems, ethical use of AI, and strong data protection, which are all necessary if this is going to work. We'll see how it goes. See you same time next week. This is Trends Watch on the innovation front.